What is up, everybody? Hope you're having a great Sunday. I have to check because I have no clue what day it is. It is November the 13th, and I was having a great day today. It was a little slow. I was at the office today doing some work, and not very much work. I didn't get much done, to be honest with you, but I did put some things up on eBay for sale. I'm actually switching my camera, which I'm recording on right now, which is the Sony A7 Mark III, and I will be switching that out for Canon. I've had this camera for several years now, and it's been great and everything, but I decided, I should try something different. And I've used Canon in the past, but that was a long time ago with it was the 5D Mark II and 3. So that was that was a while ago. And the 7D and the D70. But I want to try Canon again because a couple of reasons. One, they generally have better ergonomics. Now this is what was it again? The Sony A7 III. So I'm guessing that the new Sony cameras have even better ergonomics than this one. Sony over time has improved their ergonomics, but they started with like crappy ergonomics and they only got better incrementally. So the ergonomics on this camera is not great, and I've always noticed it. Even to this day, I haven't got used to how it's not amazing in the hands. Another reason is I just want to try a new camera system, and Canon has some interesting, cool lenses and technology that they're using. And when I say technology, I mean like they have a bigger mount, which to me seems like there's more potential for higher quality with a bigger mount, but even if there's not, I just want to switch it up basically. So I'm gonna be getting rid of this. I have like 3 lenses I need to get rid of. And then the other thing is I've just been watching a lot of like VR stuff lately. I just gotten into it, and because I didn't realize that there was kind of so much you could do with it. I haven't really been in the VR space. I used VR a couple times a couple years ago when I was working with a not production company, but where you do events and stuff, event company, and they had a VR thing where we would set up for like parties and stuff. And so basically my experience was a roller coaster, like a VR roller coaster, and I was like, oh, that was cool. That was really cool, but the setup just seemed like really complicated and stuff out and expensive, and I was like, I'm probably never gonna get this. But more recently, I've been checking out VR stuff and realizing there's probably a lot I can use it for as far as work goes, and I'm trying to think of ways to use it for like the beauty industry, because I'm in the beauty industry as far as like doing social media content for beauty companies and photography and video work and that sort of thing, social media stuff. And I was just thinking, I wonder how like beauty companies could use VR. And so I was trying to think of ways. And then also for like editing and retouching and that sort of thing, I wonder how good it is for that. So I know that there are virtual, like you can have virtual screens and stuff, which is really cool. Because right now I have 3 screens and 3 monitors. But really, I could use 3 more monitors. Like I could legitimately fill up three more monitors and have 6 monitors, and I would use them all legitimately because I do so much on the computer. As you can see, I have like 2 windows open right now, and that's just on this one screen. I also have OBS on my other screen. I have Telegram on the other screen, and then Finder. And it's because I do a lot of different things. Telegram I'm using for like Forex signals. Finder I'm using for like obviously you use Finder for a lot of things, but files and stuff. But I have my exported OBS recordings open for when I'm done shooting this video. Obviously OBS. I also have like Wavelink and Stream Deck and open. But I also do things like I legitimately can have like Photoshop, Premiere, Illustrator, Lightroom all open at the same time sometimes. So I was like, I could definitely use 3 more screens, and with the virtual reality, you can do that with the virtual reality. with the virtual reality, you could have like, you know, however many screens the app or whatever allows you to use. I'm like, okay, that actually could be extremely useful for me instead of, well, first of all, I don't even think this computer can support 3 more screens. I think the max it can support is 2. This is the iMac 2015 iMac, top of the line, whatever, 27-inch. And so I'd probably have to figure out a secondary way of doing that. Second of all, buying the monitors would be hundreds of dollars, if not thousands, if I wanted like good quality ones. And so instead, I can buy a sub $300 used Quest 2, Oculus Quest or Meta Quest, whatever the branding is on it right now. And so that's very appealing because for, let's say, $300, I can have 6 monitors, you know, or however many are allowed. And I was looking at this Immersed, which is a company that makes a virtual like desktop thing where you can do work on your computer. It's like a what do you call it? Remote desktop, like Microsoft Remote Desktop, but in your VR headsets. You just use a computer and it shows up in your headset. So I was like, actually, that could be extremely useful. I was thinking of other ways that you can use the VR headset for work specifically. And I was thinking with beauty again, you could do things like prototyping, picking packages, bottles, seeing it in 3D before you, like if you're someone who's creating a beauty company or any company that makes physical products, you can potentially create the products or the packaging. Specifically, I was thinking about packaging in 3D, and then see it and like hold it, you know, in virtual reality, as well as like marketing material. Like if you're creating, for example, the client I'm working for right now is creating a new product and is creating a nice box with a bunch of different elements in it for PR, for social media influencers. And so it would be nice to see this whole thing completed in real life and to, you know, test it out in real life before sending it out or before getting it printed and created and all that, before spending all the money to do that, so that you can see how it actually works. Whereas now it's like you can do that to an extent, but you have to like go back and forth and get actually physical objects and like maybe make it yourself as well. And then like how, for example, how like the beauty products themselves, like the bottles would look in like a bathroom or a bedroom or something. So you could have like a virtual house and you could put them in your virtual wherever and you can be like, oh, that looks nice, or oh no, actually that kind of looks ugly, and all that kind of stuff. And so those are some ways that you could do it for like the beauty industry. I was thinking photography and video content. Again, you could from what I've been watching people say is when you use VR, it helps you focus. And so that's actually something that also is like really interesting to me, because I can have a hard time focusing. I'll work on something for like 10 minutes and I'll be like, oh my gosh, I gotta get out of my seat and go do something else for a second, because I'm like, that's how I am. It's like, it can be hard for me to focus a lot of times. So if it's something that can immerse me, where it's like no distractions and forces me to work on something for a while, that would be a definite huge plus for me. And then some other things, I don't know, like I do photography and video, so I was like, what other ways can VR be used? But really what I have to do is see what the VR world has as far as like all the apps and programs and stuff, and see what there is available and then use them. So that's what I'll be doing as soon as it comes in, which will be in the next week, I think it'll be delivered. I'll be using it and shooting some videos as far as like how it can be used for the things that I do. I'd really like to see if there's a way that it can be used for like photography and video work, not necessarily just for the obvious ways. Like there's this whole world of VR content creators that I didn't really know about. I mean, I knew about VR chat, and I knew that that people would go on VR chat and make videos about it. But that's all I knew. I didn't realize, which obviously this makes sense, but I didn't realize or even think about that there was so many VR people who were making content about VR, like the industry, news, as well as like how to use VR and all the different, playing all the different games and stuff, and going over and testing new technology and all that. So obviously that makes sense. I just never thought about it. But there are many big VR people. So there's a whole new world on YouTube, and every time I like find a new world on YouTube of like something that interests me, I'm like, wow, this is really cool. All these people are creating content for this new topic that I didn't really know existed on YouTube. But yeah, VR, AR, and then also AI are kind of the new things that I've kind of noticed on YouTube that I'm learning about and watching. I wanted to again go over and see what Elon Muskrat is doing, elongated Muskrat. I wanted to check out Twitter again. I haven't really been following the FTX situation too much, but it's all over Twitter right now. It's kind of the biggest news that's going on. So I don't exactly know what's going on. I don't know the details. I just know that I'm not really following it enough to know what's going on. But apparently this guy seems to be like in hiding, but not really. He's like in the Bahamas or something. I don't know. But Elon is so from the 11th, a couple days ago, Elon was like, FTX meltdown, ransack being tracked in real time on Twitter. Which it really is. There's like a lot of people talking about it. All this space stuff, yeah, that's boring, going to space and stuff. Not really, actually. I was just watching a video about a sci-fi book that I want to read. So I really do like space. But what? Twitter feels increasingly alive. I can kind of agree. However, I just kind of started using it. So it feels alive to me because I just started using it and I wasn't using it before, so obviously it wouldn't feel alive for me. But I've been using it quite a bit lately. Rolling out soon, Twitter will enable organizations to identify which other Twitter accounts are actually associated with them. Elon says BTC will make it, but it might be a long winter. So I wonder, I don't know. I'm not really going to mess with crypto right now. I was thinking of maybe doing some shorting, but I'm focusing more on Forex right now. This guy says the Birdwatch system, which I am trying to join, is busted because I get bad ratings due to my refusal to rate notes as acceptable if it has a net bias against the source tweet. I also don't write politically leaning notes. The entire system has a jaded political bias, so I'll be banned in time. If you write any left-leaning note that focuses on outlining political facts that are irrelevant to the tweet but factual, you're almost guaranteed to have your note accepted. That's not how it should be. And then Elon says concerning. Here's the guy, Mr. SBFFTX. The guy who's like the leader dude of FTX or something. One of the creators or whatever. The guy with the curly hair. He's saying some weird things. And this is where he's hiding, I guess. The Bahamas. People want to get at him. So needless to say, he's really spending a lot of time replying to people and spending a lot of time on Twitter, which is great because he owns Twitter, so he should be heavily using his own platform. He goes on to say over here, rolling out soon, Twitter will enable organizations to identify which other Twitter accounts are actually associated with them. We will enable organizations to manage affiliations. Increasing granularity about what verified actually means is the right move. Yes, it is. It is, makes sense. There was talk where Mr. Musk was canceling lunch for Twitter employees. Basically, they were spending how much? It was like $400 a day per employee or something like that to feed them. And I'm guessing that was like the total cost of having the chefs and the food and all that stuff. And he was saying there's like barely anybody coming into the office. And so all the cost of the chefs and the food and everything comes to like $400 per person because there's so few people coming in. And, there's been a couple people that are been saying, oh my gosh, he's trying to starve the employees. And I'm like, man, I don't get free food at my place. I don't even get free coffee. I bring my own coffee pods to work, actually. But that's partially because I drink so much coffee. I feel bad for drinking the coffee that's at work. So I drink all the coffee at work, and then I'm like, should I use the work credit card or should I just bring my own coffee from home? And that's a big part of that is because I'm like a lot of times the only one that's at the office because we have a really small team. But anyways, yeah, so people were being like, oh my gosh, he's starving people. And really, like, that's a really nice thing to have is free lunch. So like that's not exactly normal to be fed really well at work. And so he's like, he fired 3/4 of the employees. This is Andrew Wortman. Now he's planning to starve the rest of them. He's, yeah. So I like how people like twist things, and where he's like, man, he's starving people by not feeding them at work. They can bring their own lunch. That's how it works at probably most places of work. Elon was saying, especially bizarre given that almost no one came to the office. Estimated cost per lunch served in the past 12 months is $400, which is a lot of money for a meal. I just went to the main street over here and saw ramen for $15, and I was like, oh my gosh, that sounds amazing. Way less than $400. I don't even know what you can get for $400 around it. I could get like 10 ramen, like 20 ramens for that. So here's a little more information on, I don't know what this website is, the Post Millennial. I have no clue who this is, but it gives a little more details in what's going on with bushy haired man. And apparently Ukraine invested in top Dems donors crypto company FTX as Biden been funded war effort. I highlighted all this here because this is all new information. So everything's highlighted. The multi-billion-dollar cryptocurrency FTX, run by CEO Sam Bankman-Fried, I'm guessing that's the middle guy right here, second biggest Democrat donor, right after George Soros. So what is with this guy? He's like kind of weird. Collapsed last week as details emerged regarding their financial practices, which led to a run by customers on FTX, and FTX did not have the funds to pay out. Okay, so that's what happened. I mean, I read about it before, but it didn't really connect. So, yeah, FTX, there was a run by customers on FTX, and because of certain financial practices, which I don't remember what those were, and FTX did not have the funds to pay everybody. It was also revealed that FTX had partnered with Ukraine to process donations to their war effort within days of Joe Biden pledging billions of American taxpayer dollars to the country. Ukraine invested into FTX as the Biden administration funneled funds to the invaded nation, and FTX then made massive donations to Democrats in the US. So there's some political shenanigans, according to these guys, that are going on, and it's very one-sided to the Democrats. So, you know, whether or not you like the Democratic Party is beside the point. Should this kind of thing be happening? Like, so they were using FTX to send money to Ukraine, and Ukraine was then FTX was making big donations to Democrats. This is all very complicated, and it would take me a little bit of time to like read about it and like put the pieces together. I'd probably have to make some kind of like a web diagram, you know, to figure it all out. I'm not really that into it. I just, it's just like a big thing that's on Twitter right now. And so I wanted to kind of go over it. But basically there's a bunch of shenanigans going on with FTX and apparently the government and the Democratic Party and Ukraine. And this seems like it's going to be a movie or a Netflix series at one point. That's basically it. I just wanted to have a little chat about what I'm working on and check out what's going on Twitter. Check out the little FTX situation just to keep up on it. Check out my last video about the Iron Age 2.0, which is about pop culture and how all the independent people these days are creating new media and books and comics and movies and TV shows and whatnot. And it's all about the independent creators. And really, it's just an overview. I'm putting together a more comprehensive video about that. So stay tuned for that. And I will see you guys next time.